World War II devastated both Europe's economy and its infrastructure. Due to the war, European countries lost many of their colonial holds, which morally is good. However, it proved detrimental to Europe. In a state of desperation, the European countries turned to each other. They did this in the short term via the European Coal and Steel Company. This company's creation was widely accepted, however, there were adversities and difficulties to be overcome in its creation. There were differences and economic tensions between the nations of Europe that could not be set aside, but rather had to be resolved. This raises the question, how did the nations of Europe overcome the difficulties in the creation of the European Coal and Steel Company? (1950). It began with a meeting between Jean Monnet, a representative of France, Konrad Adenauer, a representative of Germany, Joseph Beck, a representative of Luxembourg, Carlo Sforza, a representative of Italy, and Dirk Sticker, a representative of the Netherlands. One country cannot hold that much power over the economy. And steel is the pride and joy of Ruhr Valley. You can't just take it away from us. Coal and steel are also important resources for infrastructure, which is kind of in a crisis right now. Yeah, we all need those materials more than you do. I wouldn't take too much stuff from Germany, guys. That didn't really pan out well last time.
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late, but I think I have a solution to the coal and steel problem.
And what would that be?
So what I was thinking was...
The Schuman Declaration, written by Robert Schuman, outlined the policies of the European Coal and Steel Company, such as the elimination of customs borders, and so began a new era of European recovery from the horrors of World War II. 1957. The representatives of the nations of Europe reconvened to discuss a new organization, the European Economic Community.
All right, everybody. We've gotten comfortable with an integrated European economy. So let's make it official.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, we have an overarching network of money, but it's in the form of the company, which lacks the leniency needed to accommodate to each economic system in Europe.
What did you have in mind?
Well, I actually have a treaty here which describes my ideas in a more in-depth manner, if that interests you.
The Treaty of Rome improved upon the shortcomings of the Schuman Declaration and the European Coal and Steel Company by allowing for the free movement of people and goods between the nations of Europe. This changed the unification of Europe from a strictly economic union to a more political and social one.
So, now that we have an effective, united European political entity, we can use it to improve Europe instead of just recovering it.
We could start with science. Atomic energy is clearly very powerful. We could try to look for some less destructive uses for that.
All right, that sounds good. Let me just call up the European Atomic Energy Community for consistency.
Over time, unity in Europe continued to develop. In 1973, the UK, Ireland, and Denmark joined the community. In 1974, Spain, Greece, and Portugal joined, and the European Council was established. And in 1992, the Maastricht Treaty was signed, bringing the European Union into existence. The nations of Europe resolved their tensions by compromising between interests with continent-wide institutions, the removal of economic barriers, and united efforts in the progression of science.